Hey, I'm Jocelyn, and today we're gonna make chicken piccata for dinner. And I really don't usually set all my stuff out like this when I'm cooking at home, but I am tonight for y'all. So first thing you do is you want to fillet, like butterfly your chicken breasts. I actually bought these already done, and they're a lot thinner than I would normally make them at home, which actually makes this a lot easier because it cooks a lot quicker. I always thought chicken piccata was this like big fancy thing that I only got at restaurants until one of my best friends, Jackie, used to make it all the time when we were in college, and we couldn't afford anything more than ramen, so chicken piccata was like the real deal for us. But it's really a very easy thing. So we're gonna start with our chicken breasts, and I'm just gonna salt and pepper all of these little fillets that I've got, and just sprinkle this on everything. When you're dealing with raw meat and you're trying to season it, it's a really good idea to keep one hand wet and one hand dry, because you don't want to like cross-contaminate things. So I always do left hand wet, right hand dry, because I'm right-handed. You might do it opposite if you're a lefty. So once we have these all nicely seasoned, we're gonna dredge them in flour. Same thing, you're supposed to do like one hand wet, one hand dry. But because you dredge these so lightly, I don't really worry about my fingers getting too gloopy. Just kind of shake off the extra. All we're gonna do is go over to the stove, and we're gonna start cooking these in a little bit of butter and oil. Okay, so I've heated up my pan. I'm just gonna put about 2 tablespoons of butter in there and some olive oil. This is probably gonna be about 4 or 5 tablespoons of oil. I don't know, maybe a little bit more. I'm not like the best at measuring. It's just get the bottom of your pan so that it's, you've got like 1/8 of an inch of liquid in there, and add the butter. Just kind of stir the butter around. And now that it's sizzling, we can go ahead and stick our chicken in there. So you're gonna cook your chicken pretty well done. You're not gonna maybe get it all the way done, but you're gonna get it pretty, like I'd say about halfway done, 3/4 of the way done. So my butter and oil are starting to sizzle. I'm going to set these in here one by one, and I'm gonna cook them until they're about done. They'll be nice and golden, but you are going to cook these dependent upon how thick your chicken is. You may cook them longer or shorter. These are pretty darn thin, so I'm just gonna cook them for about a minute, about 2 minutes per side. And then I'm gonna pull them out and I'm gonna put them on a plate. So this first batch is done. I'm just gonna throw these over here. They've gotten nice. They got a little golden bit on them. So I'm gonna throw them over here, and I'm gonna put my second batch in. And again, about 2 minutes aside, depending on how thick your stuff is. These are really thin. So I'm going, actually, the first one I did on like 2 minutes on the first side, and I could tell that it was cooking on the top side. So I did the other side for just a minute. So I'm gonna say about 1.5 minutes for each of these, on each side. Those look lovely. So I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna set them aside. And into this pan, I am going to add some lemon juice. So I'm gonna just squeeze this lemon really quick. We're gonna use, I don't know, 1/4 to 1/3 cup of lemon juice. I love lemon. If you watched any of my videos, like lemon juice is my jam. So I probably use a little bit more. I use at least the juice of 1 whole lemon. Mark does not love lemon nearly as much as I do. I blame his not Greek roots. So sometimes I go easy on the lemon and then just cut extra for myself and leave it at the table. But there we go. So I'm gonna use lemon juice. I've got about 1/4 cup of dry sherry. The reason I'm using dry sherry is because it's the white wine that I had open in my house. I always have dry sherry open in my house for all sorts of cooking needs. But you could use, you know, just whatever white wine you've got. And we're gonna put in about 1/4 cup of capers. These capers came in a jar, they're brined. I've rinsed them off twice. Capers can be really salty. Sometimes you get them and the brine is like, it's like licking a salt lick, right? And other times it's no big deal. Well, these happen to be really salty, so I've rinsed them. Well, I've rinsed them a lot. Anyway, so I'm going to, I've turned this pan off. I'm going to turn it on low, and I'm going to add in the wine. Stir that around. Throw my capers in. Cook those down a little bit. And then add my lemon juice. So I'm going to get this to a point where it's sort of starting to bubble, and then I'm going to throw all of these back in for just another minute. That's why when we were cooking them the first time, I said they don't need to be entirely done. So I'm just going to lay these all in here. And I'm going to cook them on this side for maybe a minute. I'll flip them over. It's just a matter of getting this flavor into them. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'm just letting them sit for an extra second or two. I want to say that you do not have to put wine in. If you don't drink, you can totally forego the wine. It's not a big deal. You get enough flavor from those wonderful capers and all that lemon juice. So I'm just going to turn this off, and I'm going to serve it up on a plate, and I'm going to scoop up a little bit of that juice and put it all over the top of each one, and then dinner's done.